today's adventure, we're going to see the Wheels of Yesteryear Museum, Muscle at the Beach. Welcome to Guest Adventures, where everyone is a guest, including me. The museum experience itself starts in the lobby, where they have various model cars to look at, memorabilia about the automotive industry. There are shirts and other types of clothing to purchase, other artifacts that you can buy. Some of the cars are display, some are for sale. The walls are covered with various artwork to do with automobiles. And of course, say hello to Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And there's an old-time gas pump. And look at that price, 28 cents a gallon. Time to fill up your tank. All over the walls of the lobby are license plates from various states as well as other countries. One of the first things that you see when you walk into the museum area is this photograph of Paul Cummings, the owner of these amazing array of vehicles, as well as this museum, and a picture of his wife, who we were informed had recently passed away. Sadly and ironically, she passed away in an automobile accident. When we came in, they told us the cars would be nose to tail, kissing cousins, so they could get as many vehicles in the museum space as possible, and they were not kidding. The museum closes for about 3 weeks every January so they could rotate the vehicles. There's about 200 vehicles in the collection, but only about 50 of them can be displayed in this space at any time. Here's a look at the 55th Indianapolis 500 pace car. Took place in 1971. And who can go wrong with a Roadrunner Superbird, one of many in his collection. The photographs alone in the museum are quite something to see. Here's a closer look at the 71 Dodge Challenger convertible, which was the pace car for the Indianapolis 500. And now we'll scoot around since it's open and take a look inside. There was an article about the vehicle there as well, and some promotional material. So if you'd like to read that, you'll have to pause the video and take a look. There's a nice picture of Dale Earnhardt Sr. on the wall. Down below, a picture of him when he was driving for Wrangler. Good wrench car. And then a nice picture of him turning the torch over to his son, Dale Jr. This is a 413 on a Plymouth Belvedere Superstock. And they have a magazine article about the 1962 Superstock Plymouth. It's a little hard to photograph inside the cars through the windows, but they're absolutely beautiful. You gotta really come here to see and enjoy them. This is a quick pan view overlooking the largest portion of the museum filled with these amazing automobiles. A 289 Mustang with that iconic logo on the side. Beautiful white with red stripes. It's a classic American pony car right there. Here's a 1969 Charger Daytona two-door hardtop. Interesting that it was built in 1969, only 503 units, built by Creative Industries of Detroit. It's labeled Survivor. What that means is the car was not restored at all. This is the way the car was. May have been polished, maybe fixed up just a little bit, but it's the original paint with that iconic nose and pop-up headlights. Highlighted in black with a black stripe and that black wing in the back, and the nice Daytona badging on the side, as well as that iconic Charger plate. Absolutely beautiful automobile. And parked right in front of that Dodge Daytona is the Charger 500. Classic look, same color, but with a white stripe. That same iconic Charger badging. This one does not have the longer nose and the pop-up headlights, just the standard front end of that Charger. They're parked nose to tail so you can see the difference. And parked right next to those two cars, a Plymouth Sport Fury. This one displayed with the hood open. Some cars have their hood open so you can see the engines inside. There's no gasoline in any of these cars because of them being displayed in the museum. A 1962 Ford Thunderbird two-door hardtop coupe, 4-passenger, the special V8. Special exterior color was Sahara Rose. Total production for all cars, 68,000 plus. And here is the 1963 and a half Galaxy 500 Fairlane Fastback. You notice, as a lot of cars, they have those regular old wheel covers. They don't have full wheel covers yet. That beautiful front end of that Galaxy. And hanging around all the walls, there are more toy cars. There's all types of hubcaps, wheel covers, logos, insignia, some toy trucks, in case you're bringing some little ones to see. Again, license plates and auto parts all over the place for you to see. And guarding the men's room if you need it, Marilyn Monroe. And not to be left out, Elvis Presley is guarding the ladies' room for you. Some pictures of Elvis. Nice wall strip up there. That's all cars. Be great in a little kid's room. And one most important thing, how can you go wrong with a poster of the Beatles? some pop celebrating the wins of some NASCAR drivers. Here's a look inside the 1963.5 Ford Galaxy. Here's the 1963 Chevrolet Impala 400 SS two-door hardtop in jet black. That's a beautiful automobile. I'd like to have that today. Here's a unique bench for you, made out of the front end of a Jeep. Here's some information and memorabilia about James Dean. And be careful when you look above, because there's a big shark. Various places around the museum are displays of auto parts and badges, shifter levels, just about anything you can think of. Here is a Plymouth Belvedere displaying its engine. They also have the original 1965 booklet on the Plymouth Belvedere, which includes your car's warranty. I do miss those two-door car days when a lot of the cars simply had the two doors rather than four. Push that seat up to get in the back. And I'm curious if any of you out there have owned any of these vehicles. If you have, leave a comment down below. Tell us about it. There's the front end of a Pontiac Fiero Indy pace car. This was a unique little car when it first came out, especially for Pontiac, with those plastic body panels, mid-engine design, big wing on the back, that was optional. This is the Indianapolis pace car version, the Indy Fiero. I do recall when the Indy Fiero was actually in the race and had a big hood scoop that connected to that air dam or air grill in the back and raised up and had a big scoop right above the roof to get in more air to the engine. This is a 1962 409 Chevrolet Bel Air. The car behind it needs no introduction at all. From the TV show, Dukes of Hazzard, the General Lee. This car has a push bar on the front. I don't recall that being in the TV show. And there's one of the album covers from John Schneider that he released. And still on the top of the car is the Confederate flag with the General Lee badging. And what car collection would be complete without a 1963 Volkswagen Beetle? Classic back end where the engine was housed. And next to it, Chevrolet Corvair Monza Spider. One of the cars labeled unsafe at any speed by Ralph Nader. Fuel filler up front. Engine in the back. Very simple dashboard. Shifter on the floor. Cars were much simpler back then. Here's a look at the back of the car with the trunk open to show you the engine, and it had a full spare on top of the engine. Here's a 1970 Dodge Challenger TA. Get a chance to look at that oversized engine there. Required an additional hood scoop to help keep it cool and get some oxygen into the engine. The TA striping with the 340 six-pack badging. And that nice black spoiler raised up in the back. And here's this 1970 Dodge Challenger RT convertible. Different type of hood scoops. Also has that Challenger RT badging on the grille. .426 Hemi engine, back when Hemi engines were actually Hemi engines. Challenger RT badging. Little hubcaps with the body color wheels. Leather convertible top. This one doesn't have a spoiler, but it has a luggage rack. And one of the most iconic cars that I know of, the 1979 Pontiac Trans Am, was featured in the movie Smokey and the Bandit. That movie and the Rockford Files, where James Rockford drove a Trans Am, helped the sales of the Trans Ams. This one, to me, was a classic color with that gold bird on the top. Oh, and look, Burt Reynolds has been here. You know that hat that he only takes off for one thing. Beautiful gold striping. Two-tone. Gold and black. And next to that is another Dodge, the Challenger RT from 1970 in Panther Pink with that dual little hood scoop. The same badging on the front. And a 1969 Camaro SS. My father owned a 1968 Camaro. It was blue, my favorite color. The white striper on the nose. Was an absolutely beautiful car. Unfortunately, my brother rolled it over. We no longer had a 1968 Camaro after that. And as I said, all around this museum are various displays with parts, model cars. There's all types of different equipment and memorabilia, parts, wheel covers on the wall. If you forget about all the cars, it's still an amazing collection to look at. And part of the beauty of the museum are some of these rare vehicles. To me, this is one of the strangest vehicles ever made. It's not really a pickup truck, as you can see how high that back end is, but the tailgate did come down. The sidewall came down. And believe it or not, this is a Chevrolet Corvair. Corvair 95. It's a very strange vehicle, but it is part of General Motors history. Here's a Dan Gurney special for you. Look at this beautiful automobile. White with a blue top, blue striping. I want you to notice that big spoiler on the back. Beautiful. It said Cyclone Spoiler. Now up front, they feature a flip book that they made of what the car looked like before it was restored. And look at all that rust. Look at what it looks like now compared to what those pictures look like. There's the rust on the side. The back deck didn't have the spoiler, just had some holes where the spoiler was attached. Anywhere you look, it's seen its better days. That interior, how sad. Just completely fallen apart. And then, after they restored it, it looked like the beautiful automobile it should be. It's an amazing difference, and the result is this beautiful automobile. A 1950s Willys Jeep, two-door station wagon. Here's a 1957 Ford Thunderbird. It's a Survivor, so they didn't do any restoring to it whatsoever, so you can see some of the long-term damage. But other than that, this car is in amazing shape. And so Chevy could keep up with the Ford. Here's a 1957 Chevrolet Corvette convertible. That is another beautiful automobile, the beautiful interior, and that rearview mirror that's mounted on the dash, where the Ford Thunderbird still had theirs mounted on the windshield. And as we just take a look at some random automobiles here, I just want to point out a couple things about this amazing collection and this display. That these cars are so immaculately displayed, just like an auto show, if you've ever been to one. When the cars are brought into the space that they're going to be displayed at, the wheels are turned so that the logos on the wheels or hubcaps are level to the ground, straight upright. It's just a little detail that a lot of people may not notice, but just shows you the time and care that they did to make sure that this museum was an enjoyable place to walk around. And I just want to mention too that I'm overdubbing this entire video because as we walked around, oh, there's a nice Super Bee, there was music playing the entire time. And unfortunately, because there are so many songs involved, I couldn't just put that sound up, or YouTube would hit me with some copyright strikes because they wouldn't have permission to use that music. So we're going to just use our regular background music and overdub the sound. And this is one of those museums that you truly have to come and look at these cars firsthand just to see how beautiful they are. A video like this just doesn't do them justice, not at all. And let me just mention, because we have to on YouTube, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it if you so choose, but more importantly, please hit that subscribe button. It would help me out greatly. I appreciate it. Now, let's take a look at some more beautiful automobiles. Here is a 1957 Nash Metropolitan. It's a very unique looking vehicle, and as old as I am, I remember seeing some of these on the road. This one's a survivor as well. Beautiful automobile, beautiful shape. And down here is a tow truck, 5 cents per tow. And you'll notice that some rusty old Mustangs getting a tow, so that Mustang owner owes this tow truck driver 5 cents. Hope you can find it. And here's an interesting picture of Kyle Petty back in his long hair days when he was still racing, when his hair was black before the hair turned gray and the ponytail turned gray. This is a 1969 Super Bee in this great green, white highlights and a black roof. It's a Super Bee Liftoff 6-pack. This is a 1970 Pontiac GTO Judge. Original retail price just over $3,000. I'll take one. Here is a 1971 Plymouth Cuda Hemi convertible. This car is a survivor, again meaning that its original has not been restored. Absolutely beautiful automobile, very rare, very unique. Got that great badging with the Hemi on the side. It's a convertible, obviously, with that leather roof. But take a look at this. Only 11 of these vehicles were made. Read that, because they were so expensive, and repairs were so expensive. Here is a Chevrolet Biscayne two-door hardtop in that beautiful jet black. It's a 427 turbojet. There's an article. It says the original owner lost the girl, but he kept the factory hot rod. Wise decision. This is a 1970 Hemi Dodge Challenger. next to that, ooh, look at that dust streak along the side of the car. I wonder what that could mean. It could mean that up front is a Roadrunner. This is a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. Look at that beautiful blue with those black highlights. I, for one, miss some of the old brands, Plymouth being one of them. A 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible in two-tone white and black, both inside and out. In front of that is a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. This is a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Coupe with fuel injection. Here's the front of the vehicle with those pop-up headlights. This car also is a survivor. No restoration done on the vehicle. Chevrolet logo right there in the rear view mirror. And a split window back. Very classic. In front of the Corvette is a 1969 Mustang Mach 1 sports roof. And this is the third and final area of where the cars are located, a smaller area, right going back into the lobby. This is a 1955 Pontiac Chieftain Colony. It's a station wagon. And boy, I miss Pontiacs as well. This section of the museum are more photographs and memorabilia. Again, I said you could just spend your time just looking at this, not even taking a look at any of the cars. And here's the Model T assembly plant. Never seen one of these displays before. It's very, very cool. The last car we're going to look at, 1970 Mercury Cougar two-door hardtop coupe called the Eliminator. It's got that very unique hideaway headlight system, the Cougar on the front nose, Cougar badging over there. I can't get to that side of the car, but It's also got a hood scoop in that red black stripe, black hood scoop. Beautiful two-door car. It's got some great badging and a spoiler on the back. Cougar Eliminator. I hope you enjoyed your quick look at this amazing museum. I'll leave some links down below and some instructions on how to get here, the address and whatnot. But I thank you again for coming along on a guest adventure, where everyone's a guest, including me. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. It would help me out greatly. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.